Hey guys, Tina here and welcome to my November book haul. Yet again I managed to acquire a few books and I'm just going to briefly talk to you about them here because I don't have a lot to say about them because I haven't read them yet and I do not want this video to be too long anyway, so yeah, let's get to it. The first book is actually a non-fiction book. A few months back when there was all that talk about the release of the JFK files, I sort of got obsessed with the topic. I mean, I knew the general points but was really foggy in the details, so I decided to watch really a lot of documentaries on YouTube and I sort of I'm even more confused, I guess, although not that I care either way. But yeah, I also decided to get a book on the topic, and that is JFK by Lieutenant Fletcher Prouty. It seemed like a decent start, not just because it discusses the conspiracy or just his assassination in general, but because it also presents a lot of the historical elements, things that happened before and what led to everything and all that. So I mean, I don't know, I'm gonna judge this is a better one, you know, from others because I haven't read any of them. But yeah, I don't know, I just like this one and I decided to start here. Not sure that I'm actually going to continue with this obsession because, as you know, obsessions come and go, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to soon have another one, so yeah. But I'm going to read this one at some point. I actually used to read a lot of non-fiction books, but yeah, that sort of changed and now I don't. And then I decided to rebuy a few of Brandon Sanderson's books simply because the size that the books that I owned were a different size from the rest of the collection, and size does matter, as we all know, and despite what they try to tell you, but it does matter. And the books that I actually bought are Shadows of Self, which is book 2 in the second Mistborn trilogy, and also Bands of Mourning, which is book 3. The next one is supposed to come out next year, and I'm really looking forward to concluding this series. This takes place like 300 years after the first Mistborn trilogy, and it's a bit more modern. There's industrialization, there's guns, so it's sort of like a Flintlocks fantasy, blah. And it's a lot of fun. It's also kind of like more of a murder mystery, crime type of series, and it's a lot of fun. Also, they are a lot shorter than the first 3 and a lot of fun anyways. And then I also decided to rebuy Arcanum Unbounded, which is a collection of his novellas from the Cosmere, and yeah, I haven't read this one yet, but I will because, well, I will next year because I'm planning to do a little project regarding Brandon Sanderson. Actually, it's not that huge of a project. I'm just going to reread all of his epic fantasies and review them. So yeah, if you want to join me in that, I will be very happy. But yeah, that's what I decided to rebuy for no reason except for me being silly. Then I have Arabella and the Battle of Venus by David D. Levine, which is book 2 in, I'm not sure what the series is called, but the first book was Arabella of Mars and I really enjoyed it. It's sort of like an alternate history, but you know, people have colonized our solar system and Arabella used to live on Mars. They have this sort of like a plantation of this special wood, I think. And anyways, she's sort of a tomboyish kind of girl and her mother doesn't like that, so she decides to ship her off to Earth so she can learn some manners and become a lady. And while they're, you know, being educated in that regard, her father gets murdered and she decides to go back to Mars to see what actually is going on. And it's this adventure, and well, there's more of it here, and I haven't read this one yet. And I probably won't this year, but I really love the first one. What is it again? I just can't speak lately, sorry guys. But anyways, the first one was great and I'm pretty sure this one's going to be great as well, and the cover is just gorgeous, which is always good. Then I decided to buy first book in a new series that I actually plan to read next year, but I just sort of felt the need to buy it now for some reason, and it's Brian Staveley's The Emperor's Blades, which is book 1 in his, what is it called? Chronicle of the Unhewn Throne, I guess. And it tells the story of these 3 siblings. Their father was murdered, I think he was the emperor, yeah, and he gets murdered and they sort of have to figure out what happened, and that's basically all I know. I have been hearing about this series for a while now, and the last one that I was really excited about these books was Kylie from Miss Kylie Reads. And she got me excited as well, and I decided to just go ahead and buy the first one because, yeah, why not have another first book in a trilogy on my shelves? But yeah, this is actually supposed to get read next year, but of course I cannot make any promises because, yeah, that's just the way it is. And then I went to my local bookstore and I really got excited when I saw this book there, because I was planning to buy it eventually, but not yet. But of course it was there, and how could I say no? And it's Spellbringer by Sebastian de Castell, which is his, I think, young adult series. This is about a boy called Callan, and he is supposed to fight this magical duel, and his magic sort of disappears, and that's all I know about it. And this is just a beautiful book. I know that book 2 is out already. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to be a trilogy or a series. I'm not sure. Again, this is, I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I am looking forward to it because I did enjoy his Traitor's Blade book, and I do have to finish that series as well. I own it, so yeah, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, life. But yeah, anyways, I have it when I, you know, when the mood strikes me, I have it. And then I also have another fantasy book that's really popular right now, and that is Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna Maguire, which is book 2 in her Wayward Children series of novellas. This is the second one, and it's actually a prequel to Every Heart a Doorway, which tells the story of these kids that go through these doorways to different worlds, and when they return they sort of are struggling to fit back into this world, and some want to get back, some not, and they're sort of trying to fit back in here. And this is actually a prequel, as I said, and deals with Jack and Jill that go to this world. Which is supposed to be, this one's supposed to be really good, better than the first one, so I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, another beautiful cover, which is great. The next, well, the last 3 books that I have are sort of special, slightly different, and just because of the way, well, no, I'm just going to show you. The first one is Nebeška Vročica, Part 1 by Sandra Brown. It's actually a Slovene translation, and the original is called Slow Heat in Heaven. This is a romance book by Sandra Brown. One of my favorite romance authors, although, you know, she started with writing just simple, straightforward romance novels, but then she sort of switched to crime romance books, and this is one of those. I entered a giveaway on Goodreads, and I actually got a signed copy. Can you imagine? And alongside it, there came these, I don't know, cards, and on the back side, they're all her titles that are, but not the, from what I gathered, it's all the murder mystery romance type of books, actually not the romance ones, but yeah. Anyways, and also I got a signed bookmark, which is always great. And also, yeah, the book is signed. Now this is the Slovene translator, or, you know, the publisher decided to actually split this book into, so this is just the first part of the book. And it's freaking expensive. It's 26 euros. If, you know, for those of you who wonder why we read in English and buy English books, that is why. So actually would have to pay like 50 euros to get the both of them, which is crazy. And I'm not sure why that is done. I already read this one in English, so I might actually read this part and just, you know, maybe finish it in English, or just not, because I already know how it ends, and I might actually review it. I'm not sure. We shall see how that goes, but yeah, it's one of my favorite books, actually, in the romance genre department. And then the next book is, of course, one that it's gorgeous, and you probably would expect to see it here at some point, and that is the illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I don't know what it is. Anyways, this used to be one of my favorite Harry Potter books. I think at least, you know, it's somewhere there, like with the Order of the Phoenix or the Half-Blood Prince, but this is definitely one of my favorites, and it's just beautiful. I haven't actually opened it that much because it's just arrived today and I was not home. But yeah, it has some beautiful, beautiful illustrations again, and I will be rereading it at some point again. I still have to reread The Chamber of Secrets. But yeah, I'm really happy about these, although this is already, you know, bigger than the first 2. So yeah, next year it's going to be interesting how they do the Goblet of Fire, because it's going to be huge. This thing is going to be just huge. And then the next book, well, the last book, really made my day for a few moments. I had a terrible day, and once I saw it, it just, for a few minutes, I was really happy and excited, and it was just such a pleasant surprise. And I'm talking about Artemis by Andy Weir. when I was unboxing it, I saw this sticker that says a signed copy, and I was just like, what? I didn't know that was gonna happen. And then I looked inside, of course, for the signature, and I saw this. For those of you who are following me on Instagram, you already saw this, and it says, this edition of Artemis, signed by the author, is limited to 2,000 copies, of which this is number 2. And I'm just so happy, guys. Oh, this has never happened before. So yeah, it's just a beautiful book, a beautiful cover, a great author. I love The Martian, and now this signed. Oh, it was so perfect. This is a book that takes place on Luna, on Moon. It takes place on Moon. Luna is the Slovene, word for moon. But yeah, it takes place on Moon. There's I think a city called Artemis there, and we follow this woman who is up to no good, I think. I've heard mixed reviews actually of it. Some people really don't care for it, and some are really pleased with it. So I do hope that I fall into that category, the second one. But yeah, it's just so happy, guys, so happy. This should happen more often. That would be perfect. Anyways, those are all the books that I managed to acquire this month. Let me know down in the comments what you managed to buy. And again, thank you for watching this video, and see you in my next one. Bye!